Chapter 22. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. The rich and poor meet together, the Lord is the maker of them all. A prudent man foreseeth the evil, and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. By humility and the fear of the Lord are riches, and honor, and life. Thorns and snares are in the way of the froward. He that doth keep his soul shall be far from them. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. He that soweth iniquity shall reap vanity, and the rod of his anger shall fail. He that hath a bountiful eye shall be blessed, and he that giveth of his bread, for he giveth of his bread to the poor. Cast out the scorner, and contention shall go out, yea, strife and reproach shall cease. He that loveth pureness of heart, for the grace of his lips, the king shall be his friend. The eyes of the Lord preserve knowledge, and he overthroweth the words of the transgressor. The slothful man saith, There is a lion without. I shall be slain in the streets. The mouth of strange women is a deep pit. He that is abhorred of the Lord shall fall therein. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich, shall surely come to want. Bow down thine ear, and hear the words of the wise, and apply thine heart unto my knowledge. For it is a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee. They shall withal be fitted in thy lips. That thy trust may be in the Lord, I have made known to thee this day, even to thee. Have not I written to thee excellent things in counsels and knowledge, that I might make thee know the certainty of the words of truth, that thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that send unto thee? Rob not the poor, because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. For the Lord will plead their cause, and spoil the soul of those that spoil them. Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go, lest thou learn his ways and get a snare to thy soul. Be not thou one of them that strike hands, or of them that are sureties for debts. If thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away thy bed from under thee? Remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set. Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men. Verse 1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver or gold. You have no idea, well, some people have no idea, how many times they get a start at something, or get a promotion, or get help, because somebody knows another member of their family. I can think of a number of my children that got work at a fast food restaurant because brothers or sisters had worked at that same restaurant and had a good reputation as good hard workers. And that helped everybody. Verse 2, the rich and poor meet together, the Lord is the maker of them all. That's the interesting thing. A lot of people think that, a lot of rich people sometimes tend to think that because they're wealthy, that somehow they're better than the poor. The Lord made all of them. There are some really interesting stories in the coming part of the Old Testament where things happen and rich people, things don't turn out quite the way for them in the eternities that they think they're going to. Verse 3, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Now the word simple here means simpleton, the people who are not going to pay attention to the danger signs, not people who are innocent, people who have been warned but not paid attention. By humility and the fear, respect of the Lord are riches and honor and life. And here's another one that's one of the ones that is very, very commonly heard. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. You see that children that have a good upbringing, who learn intelligence, who learn honesty, who learn integrity, and order their life by that, sometimes have a little difficulty when they get on their own, sort of making sure that they get influenced by their friends who maybe have less of a standard than they do. But pretty soon they realize something. They don't feel right unless they are being as honorable as they were taught to be. It doesn't work for everybody, but I'll tell you, it works for a lot. It says, the rich ruleth over the poor, verse 7, and the borrower is servant to the lender. How many, we are now looking at an economic crisis here, and how many people are borrowers who are almost in servitude to the people they've loaned money from. He that soweth iniquity, verse 8, shall reap vanity, iniquity being sin, and the rod of his anger shall fail. The ability of his, a rod would be a staff perhaps, to hold him upright, keep him from falling. That will fail. Verse 9, he that hath a bountiful eye shall be blessed. In other words, people who see plenty, people who give plenty, people who are generous of heart shall be blessed, for he giveth his bread to the poor. And Heavenly Father will see that and bless him. Verse 11, he that loveth pureness of heart, for the grace of his lips, the king shall be his friend. Amazing how many times you can actually be in a position of honor, position of being able to do good, because you are known to have a pure heart and to not deal deceitfully with anybody. Verse 14, the mouth of a strange woman is a deep pit. He that is abhorred of the Lord, in other words, the person who is not going to pay attention to righteousness, not going to, it doesn't mean that the word basically abhorred means hated by, but the connotation of the meaning is the person who is not willing to follow instruction from the Lord, the person who is going to think that they're great and grand and wonderful all by themselves, will fall into the pit dug by the mouth of strange women. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction, shall drive it far from him. In other words, sometimes they talk about the rod of my mouth, which would be the tongue, the word spoken. The rod of correction can be that. Usually that in Hebrew literature, it does not mean striking the child. It means talking to the child, explaining to the child. So children do foolish things. Adults do foolish things. Sometimes sitting down with somebody and talking it out is really what you need to do. Verse 16, he that oppresses the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. Why would you give to the rich? Rich already have. Interesting.